Hello. So, I have been recovering at home from surgery for the last 7 days, and got kind of bored while I was playing Final Fantasy XIV, while I was queuing up for certain things. So, um, while I was doing that, just waiting for the queues to pop, I started messing around with my UI. So, uh, kind of thought that it would be fun to just show off what I came up with here, trying to last hour knock out some tribal quest. uh, so kind of show that off as I'm doing that. So you can see that I got things all moved down towards the bottom of the screen. Yeah, it looks really cluttered down there, but that's not where my field of view really is. And so for me, doesn't really bother me at all. Ah, a thing. Um, so anyway, um, with everything down there, it just like really cleans up what I'm trying to see in my field of view, which is that nice little area right in the middle, right where my character is. Everything else is kind of pushed off to the sides. And what I'll show you here is I have this macro I made over here, which cleans things up even further, just to make a few less distractions. I'm just spamming the easiest stuff here. And I'll kind of explain all that once I get back here and turn in these stupid quests before the timer resets. And then I'll do it again. But so I should say I do play on console. I had a PS5. The game was on sale, so I picked it up on that rather than PC. For me, this has worked out really nicely. I do kind of a hybrid style where I have a mouse and keyboard for certain movement-based things and for menuing, things like that. But in general gameplay, in raids and in dungeons, I love the controller setup with my hotbars, my crossbars down here. So I'm messing around with my mouse there. So it's funny, like I do a weird sort of thing where I'll kind of use my controller almost like my AWSD for movement, but then I'll still mess around with the mouse for things because I'm a weirdo. But then when I'm actually like in combat, I'll mess around with the actual controller. I really like what I have set up there. The functionality and customability or customization options are really strong in this game. So for me, with just a couple button presses, if I just press in L3, I can switch over to a third menu, which I haven't really messed around with my Red Mages stuff so much yet. But I put a lot of my non-combat stuff on here, so like my mount will go up here. Got that motorcycle there. And then also things for like my chocobo and stuff like that. I'll show you a different class here in a moment that has a little bit more robust set of crossbars. But then if I just go back there, that puts me back to my first hotbar, and then the above things here, that's actually my hotbar 2. And if I just double click, I can move the things. And then my third hotbar, if I hold L2 and then press R2, it brings up that side, and then conversely, R2 then L2 brings up that side. So kind of have as many bars as I'll ever need. When I'm playing either a tank or a DPS, I tend to stick almost exclusively to the controller. However, when I'm playing healer, I do actually like to be able to hop around with the mouse. Just makes certain things a little bit easier for me. I feel like for me, healing's just a little bit more complex. But anyway, so not only does this button bring up and take away various UI elements that I just don't need around for when I'm in combat or like that, but also I have all my classes just right here at the ready, which is really nice. So I can switch over to like my gunbreaker, um, just on the fly. Uh, and again, like this is big and ugly and everything, but press a button, it's gone, and now I have everything nice and clean the way I like it. I'm sure there's still some people that are like, oh my gosh, why is your party thing up here? Um, when I'm healing, it's quick, just quick access right there. And then my enemy list I have on the other side here. I don't use that much, but it can be useful for just certain things that I'm trying to do a little bit more precise. But yeah, so like on my gunbreaker here, let's turn that back on. Like I was saying, I can just with the click of a button go between combat skills and then my out of combat abilities. And like I said, this one's a little bit. This is my general setup for most things. I just started leveling up Red Mage a little while ago, just to I'm trying to catch it back up to where I'm at in Endwalker's story. I haven't quite completed that yet, but I've reached a point where like all of the classes, I have five things that I have been leveling kind of simultaneously, and they're all almost 90. So I'm like, I need another one to carry me through, so all that XP is not just being wasted. So a couple days ago, I started leveling up Red Mage. Got it to level 80, and I'm trying to just get it to 85. That's where I'm at in the story. Super easy to level nowadays, it seems, which is great. But anyway, so back to the Gunbreaker. Yeah, so I have everything that I really need with my Chocobo as my companion here. I can just switch between the different stances. I got Mount Roulette here, and then I got my two preferred methods of travel for this particular job. I like the Fenrir. This actually has faster ground movement when you're still going through an area for the first time, which is really nice. And then I also love to just have my Chocobo on all the classes. Just I think it looks cool. I like this barding that I have for it. Kind of goes with just about all the classes I have. But then, yeah, I have, my return to home, teleport, emotes, things like that. There's other things that I could eventually add, just haven't yet. And then I got just cheapo depot, little food items just for the XP gains. But basically, you'll see the big changes I made where I moved that mini map down here, as well as like the server information. For me, it's just less out of the way. It's a little bit more within my view, and then also it's nice just to click a button. I can pull up my expanded map there, which is nice. I got all of my kind of, I don't know what you call these, just out of combat buffs. I don't know. Things that they're not self buffs, right? They're just like different abilities and stuff for my free company. Forget what they're actually called. And then move the experience bar out from under the HP just to bring things down ever further. Just like, again, I like this area just to be nice and clean. So I moved that there. Got my items and my gil and everything just shoved off to the side. And then, yeah, I can just kind of flip through the various classes that I've leveled. Got my Scholar, and Dragoon was the first thing that I actually bothered to level. When I was first playing, I was like, I'm just going to level all the way through Endwalker, not bother with any alt classes. And my best friend Brent was like, dude, That's the dumbest thing you could possibly do. You're gonna reach a point where you're just like already like max level and you still got a whole expansion. And that's exactly what happened. I got to the end of Shadowbringers, and Sinmara here was already level 90. I'm like, well, crap. But the cool thing is in Shadowbringers, there's these role quests, which uh, really add to the story, and so it gave me like even more of a reason to go and level some alts. And so at that point, I went and finished all those, and man, the story was so cool for that. Well, now in Endwalker, I've just reached the point where, yeah, there's more role quests. Fortunately, I had just looked ahead a little bit to see if there was going to be anything like that in Endwalker, and I'm glad I did because they actually did add an additional role quest, which is uh, physical range DPS. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and level up Dancer since Dancer starts at level 60. So that's one of my almost maxed out characters there. So yeah, but now I've reached a point where Gunbreaker is almost level 88. Scholar and Summoner are both almost 89. Dancer is almost 89. So very quickly, I'm going to reach the point where I don't have much else to do with that. So I said, kind of pre-planning. I was like, well, what's a class that starts off at a decent level? That's a little bit different. And so I went with the Red Mage. So get her up to 85, and then I'll continue the story. Fortunately, it's just so easy to level. But anyway, yeah. When I'm in raids, again, I just like to, turn all this stuff off, and now it's just a few less things that are distracting me. I like to keep my map up. Sometimes it helps with various positioning and things like that when you're doing like alliance raids and stuff like that. Um, Keep these buffs up so I can see if I need to throw on another egg just to get the XP bonuses. But your MSQ goes away automatically when you're in raids, so don't really need to bother with that. But I don't need my duty log there. Pretty unnecessary. Don't need to know my guild. Don't need to know the items. Any item that I'm going to use is already going to be on my hotbar. But yeah, I got really bored while I was waiting for things to pop, and just completely changed my entire UI to something that I think looks a little bit better. I guess one last thing here before I stop rambling on forever. So there's a couple elements that you can't see. I have a bunch of unused bars that I just don't really need. Limit gauge is up here. Again, this is where my enemy list is. Pretty out of the way. As you can see here, my item and action help just comes here. I try to keep my job-specific gauge just off to the side, out of the way. I've got plenty of room right there for it. But then, yeah, so party list I have right here, just so it's the lowest thing to me in 4 and 8 mans. And then when I'm doing alliance raids, I got my alliance 1 and 2 list there, just in case I need to do anything with that. Keep track of some stuff there. And then also my focus target bar. Don't use that often, but it can be super helpful when you're trying to just single one thing out and, do various things to it. So, but yeah, that is my updated UI. I like it a lot better than the base level. Things are kind of just everywhere with that. So, anyways, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this ramble. Bye.